I am Ginger, and my company is PetServices.Pro, and I have two special guests today with me, actually three. And this is Charlie Parsons with Parsons Horseshoeing.
Hey.
And this is Charles, his assistant.
Hi.
And welcome. Thank you for coming on with me today.
Yeah.
And who's this?
This is our 12-year-old Tennessee Walker Gelding, Cody. Gonna get his new feet done today.
So tell us, Charlie, how'd you get started doing this?
I used to work at a large ranch in California. It was the largest Morgan horse farm in the country, actually, Red Fox Stables. And about 5 miles from that place was one of the top shoeing schools in the country. And so I actually went every night and went for 8 months, and I went to the shoeing school down there, and I learned the trade. And I decided I kind of liked it. And 30 years later, I'm still at it. So.
Right on. Cool. And so then now you're a horseshoer, but it's also called a farrier?
Yep,
Is there a difference?
A farrier is a combination of a horse trainer and a blacksmith.
Oh, okay.
Combination is where they come up with the name of farrier.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to learn about hoof care today. And so if you're thinking about getting a horse, or if you already have one and want some more information, this is the place to learn it. So let's go ahead, and so you're going to shoe him.
Yes, we're going to put some front shoes on him, and we're going to trim the back, and my son Charles is going to clean up the feet first.
So tell us why horse hoof care is important.
Well, it used to be, years ago, when the horses were in the wild, they would move 8 to 10 miles a day to get the food and water. And so they'd wear their feet down, and they just keep them well shaped and rounded off. But the foot is like the hoof is like a fingernail, and it keeps continually growing all the time. And it actually grows out about a ½ inch in about a month's time. So today's domestic horses don't get this kind of wear and tear, so they have to have a farrier come in and clip them back, or they'll be just like a broken fingernail, and then you'll have lots of problems and lameness. So.
Okay. So then what do we look for in a horseshoer? What do you want? I mean, because you just don't want anybody, right?
Well, ideally you would want, you got some quality animals, and you're going to go with a certified farrier. Myself, I've been certified for about 30 years, and that you get that through the American Farrier Association.
Okay.
And it just shows people that you know the experience, you've been there and done that, have the training. So.
Cool. Cool.
They start to crack out on the walls here in the quarters, and that's where they're breaking off. So what we're going to do is we're protecting them with the shoe. We're going to put that coverage on that wall so it supports it. So he's going to be out on the trails. We're going to do some endurance rides with him. And he will be able to check that foot.
Cool.
What we're doing, these things are just a large fingernail clipper here, nippers. And you want to eye down that foot, and you want to see this dead stuff want to come off there. It's just like a broken fingernail, I tell you. And you cut that back. Take this large fingernail file, the rasp, and we're just kind of leveling that up. And we're getting ready to prep it for a shoe.
And this doesn't hurt them, right? They can't feel this?
Well, if you've ever cut your fingernails too short, you know how that hurts?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with these guys. They can be very painful if you cut them too short. Actually, you can get them bleeding, and you know right away that you got a sore horse. One of the things you don't want to do is on a customer's horse, you don't want to get them bleeding.
No.
Let's just say that. Now I'm going to fit the shoe to this foot here, and we're going to fit this right on the anvil.
So what can go wrong if you don't have it fit right?
Well, that's a good question there. This is you can tell on the foot here. See, we want to fit this white line. On the outside, they call that the white line, although it's black right there with dirt and stuff in it. But if you get the nails on the inside of that, you can what's called quick them, or they would hurt them. It's like driving a nail underneath your fingernail, and they know right away you got them. It's very painful to them, and you can lame them up. Ideally, you want it level. You don't want nothing, no air underneath it. You want to be able to nice, tight fit.
So then what can happen to their foot or their leg structure or whatever if you do not get an even trim on them?
Well, it's like you walking on the side of your boot or your tennis shoe, and you just can put some wear and tear you're thinking of a 150, 200-pound person walking on the side of their foot, it's gonna hurt them. But you get a 1,200-pound animal doing that, you can do some devastation to their legs. Now these nails we're gonna use are called 5 city head nail. Fits right on in the crease. And then we're also gonna use a little bigger nail on the front part. It's like, their foot is like a piece of wood. Most unnatural thing you ever do to a horse is put a shoe on it. So you gotta make sure they're gonna be comfortable.
So he's actually pretty good mannered about this.
But he's exceptionally good on this. He's been around for a long time. He's 12 years old, so he knows what happens. This gets done about every 2 months. So these horses are getting pretty used to this being done to them. They don't always have to have a shoe on, but they're you got to just cut their feet back every 2 months.
So is it good to not have shoes on some?
It is. Matter of fact, my own personal horse, I only keep shot about 6 months out of the year. This is the clinch block here. This sets the nail down. Now we're going to cut off a little of this dead foot that's on the outside of the shoe. My son's going to come and file the rest of this front off here, so we'll get ready to clinch this down. This is the clinchers here. These nails that are sticking up that Charles just filed down. Now we'll set them and roll them. And that sets them right down inside the hoof. Set that underneath there. Clinchers again. I got 3 nails on the other side and got 4 on this side. You want that foot to expand, and we'll let it move towards the inside a little bit. When you deal with a lot of show horses and stuff, the foot is really, you want to be presentable looking. So even your nail pattern's got to be nice and level and even. Just like finished carpentry work. You want the foot to look good. That's the finish on that side. Now we're going to trim just the back. The reason why we're only putting shoes on the front of this horse is horse carries 65% of their weight up front, plus the weight of the rider up front. So he doesn't necessarily need shoes in the back.
So what kind of diseases can happen to horses?
Well, it is one of the most common in the Northwest here is thrush. It's a wet bacteria that gets on there, and it's the black that you kind of then. It's got a little bit of a stench to it. It's just from standing in the water all day long. And a lot of these horses, they're in the Northwest. It's 40 degrees and wet most of the winter time, so you got to protect them. You got to get them in and dry them out, and and when you cut them back, when the farrier shows up, we can kind of ward off a lot of problems when we see them every couple of months. Tell you what there's a problem here or there. And one of the other ones that get a little bit worse, it's called the white line disease. It's a bacteria that crawls up the wall, and it's like a rust, and it just keeps eating at the wall. And if undetected and untaken care of, it will destroy the foot. Take the big fingernail files.
So what should people do daily with their hooves?
Well, one of the things you can do as a horse owner is, get out there and clean them, and when you're feeding them, at least pick them up and clean them at least once a week. But ideally every day it would be better, but you got to be realistic with people over time. This little guy right here is called a chestnut. Really has no use anymore, but thousands of years ago, horse used to have a split hoof like a cow. And no longer, and they were a lot smaller than they are now also. This is all that's left of it, the chestnut here. And you can a lot of times just put them right off. They grow just about like a toenail on them. And this just makes them look like somebody's caring for them.
Well, thank you so much, Charlie. We certainly appreciate it. And thank you, Charles, too. Y'all did fabulous. And you don't have a website, right?
No, we don't, but
okay.
Just Charlie Parsons Horseshoeing. Been in the yellow pages for years, but
okay. But you can also go to PetServices.Pro, and you can get information there if you'd like. And we appreciate you coming on.
great.
Thank you all for watching Pet Ed.